Well, of course, a very beautiful afternoon to you. Tune in to this very particular live stream live on the South Sudan Football Association channels. It is the last game for the day. It is week 19 in the MTN South Sudan Premier League. It is the Moneybags are coming head to head. I'm talking about AL-MEERIEKH FC of Bentiu and the Buffaloes, Jamus FC of Juba. Both teams are following each other quite closely on the log. And you think a victory for any side would mean so very much in as far as the proceedings will be concerned at the Juba National Stadium. In the commentary box, my name is the Disco 211, and I'll be joined by Town Far Fredo, who will be doing analysis for this very particular game. Now, Fredo, as opposed to most of the matches played here, it's crystal clear, I would say, that this is a game that has attracted one of the highest crowds in the Premier League so far.
Yeah, that is very true. Looking at the crowd that I'm seeing at the Juba National Stadium really tells a lot, and probably that's why you say they are money bags. You know, when there are money bags, so many would have to follow, and it's kudos to the two clubs because they are able to attract such a big multitude of fans into the stadium. This really tells a lot, and I'm quite sure if all the 14 teams will really attract such a multitude that this, I think it will be very, very great and very huge for the development of the game in this country.
Well, of course, looking at the starting 11s for the two teams, AL-MEERIEKH FC of Bentiu have their legendary goalkeeper, that is Juma Gennaro Awad, who has, of course, had stints with the South Sudan national team. He is starting in between the sticks today. In defense, they do have Paul, known to many as a Triple P. There's Atir Thomas. There's Lam Wo. There's Yuol Lual, known to many as Yaya. There's Peter Chol Bentiu, Abui Dominic, Lamech Lok, who to me I think has been one of the most instrumental players for this very particular team. Dons the shirt number 9, but plays as a deep holding midfielder. There's Chikidi Kwang. There's Mohamed Musa and Gaitan Massa, who to me I think has been one of the most versatile players for this particular side. I think he caused a bit of a headache for Aquarium in the previous game, which of course led AL-MEERIEKH to win the game by 5-0. I mean, what's your take on this particular starting 11?
A very interesting starting 11 there for the Sudanese tactician. And I think it is something that they'll have to look forward to, maybe getting goals, because if you look at this team is more or less like an attacking team. If you have Dominic Aboy Petrino in between that center of the defense, the attacking midfield rather, you have Locke, like that you did mention. He did had a very fantastic play. And you have Musa, who is chasing the golden boots for this league. And, you know, definitely Chiki de Koang, or you can call him Techlo Locke. He's a very formidable player. And let's see how they'll be able to produce in this game.
Well, of course, action is underway, and there comes Gaitan Masha, dispossess Jamus with a counter on the left. Wakan really go cross into the area, but of course, a tap on the ball gets it off the danger area. It's going to be a goal kick for AL-MEERIEKH FC of Bentiu. And of course, Juma Gennaro trying to organize his backline right there quickly. And they will have, and of course, intense 90 minutes of football. Gaitan Masha trying to apply a bit of force right there, but of course, he's probably gotten off the scene right there by Jamus's number 2, who says, not on my watch. Ball goes all the way through. It's going to be a goal kick for MEERIEKH. Now looking at the starting 11 for Jamus, they have Victor Sachoma, former Nigerian international goalkeeper, Thomas Bawak. There is, of course, Malish Magong, who is simply being integrated into the team, having stayed on the sideline due to an injury. There is Christian Todero, who has as well been quite a game changer for this particular team. There's Wani Ivan, there's Samuel Taban, and of course Jude Rodriguez, Mohamed Kesra, Mohamed Adil, Muthadir Yaya, and Tito Lukchir those are the players starting for the Buffaloes. Shot right there into the area, but of course couldn't get a touch on the ball to cause a little bit of a problem for Jamus right there. Here comes Bawak with a long throw. Captain played by Theodoro. Tries to get the ball into the opposition line, but really goes all the way through for Thomas. He has a lot of space to control the ball and goes out for a goal kick. I mean, 2 minutes played and both teams have tried to threaten each other so far.
Yeah, I think the first one should have gone to Jamus, the Buffaloes. Should have really gotten that chance, but I think a very good defense there, being commanded by Paul Pook, Triple P there, our former national under-20 team player. You remember him very well playing in this very stadium. So let's see. But they are really threatening, very, very threatening, Jamus. But to me, if you would love to ask me, who do you really like to see them winning this game? I think AL-MEERIEKH would love to see that they win this game so that they come closer to Jamus. I know they have 2 games on hand with the 2 teams, and it would be a very interesting one, really, really.
Well, of course, a foul is committed just at the edge of the box, and the free kick is awarded to the Buffaloes with the number of set-piece specialists in that particular squad. There's a Tito Lukshir, very, very gifted left-footed player. There is, of course, a Christian Todero as well. You think Juba Gennaro will have a bit of work to do to keep his team afloat. So much at stake for both teams in this very particular game. Both teams have played at least 3 games less compared to Qatar, who are topping the log. And that tells you every single point means so very much. Here comes the 2 players I just mentioned, Tito Luchir and Christian Todero. Who's going to go for the ball? Christian takes a shot! And of course, hit the wall. Can he give it in play? It's going to be a throw in for Jamus. Of course, the player will have to be attended to, having hit that ball from the danger area. I mean, you'll have to sacrifice something to keep your team afloat, and he just did exactly that.
Yeah, it's good to have those interceptions. Otherwise, that would have costed them. But I think one thing that AL-MEERIEKH want to work on is their defense. They seem still to be coming together, and that will be seeing them like very sluggish. And I think that is where Jamus perhaps will be using those chances to slot in, and it will be very disappointing if they really concede a goal as early as this. Let's see how it goes. They were having a throw in there, and good work coming in from Yahya.
Well, here comes Bawak Eta, throwing for Jamus. He's playing on the left today as opposed to the right as usual. It's a long ball into the area. Tito controls with the left, but of course too far from him. And of course AL-MEERIEKH getting away from the danger area. Here comes Mohammed, but of course it's sent back into the half of MEERIEKH, which goes into the safe hands of Juba Gennaro. Pal sends it down the right. A lot of space for that is MEERIEKH to make the run through. That is Yahya, but Yahya gives it away. Magong gives it to Wani Ivan, and of course Tabani sends it back to Magong, back to Tabani. They don't have really so many red shirts threatening them up front. Sends one up front, trying to find that is Rodriguez, but of course an offside call comes in from the first assistant referee. It will be given to that is MEERIEKH Bentu, with Juba Gennaro restarting it quickly to Pal. Pal finds Dominic, back to Pal. Pal sends a long one up front. There are 2 players. There is Mohammed, there is Gaitan, and Tikidi, all being the target for that long ball, but none could really have a comfortable touch on it. Sent back, and they still maintain possession just down the left flank. It's a long one out front. Controls the ball, a lot of space there, and of course MEERIEKH Bentu trying to get comfortable a little bit, and making those short progressive passes. I mean, given the space and they get to settle in with the experience of players like Peter Chol Bentu, you think they could hurt Jamus with that?
Yeah, Peter Cholbantu, and you could see that movement between Peter Cholbantu and Dominic Aboy Peterino, and then of course Techlodge, or you can call him Chikidi Koang there, seem to be producing something. But let's really see if they will continue with those passes, and we see what they will be able to produce. Of course, they are looking for Mohamed Musa. Imagine that, and it is a goal. It just hit the whatever the pole. Imagine. Those are very sluggish passes there. Pal really should have punished themselves, and it is really, I didn't see that coming from him. But I think, like I told you, they are yet to settle their defense, and that will really make Jamus to capitalize.
Well, what a schoolboy mistake it would have been from Pal. Juma Gennaro got off his line, and the back pass simply went unattended to. Now here's a counter attack for Meeriekh Bantiu. Can they get into the area? Yes, he does. A shot! Punched away by the goalkeeper. And that's going to be a corner kick for Meeriekh Bantiu. First time they've threatened Jamus, and ends with a corner kick. Will they learn from the mistake Pal almost made? Or are they going to try to sit back and watch Jamus do their thing? The question will be answered quite after this very particular corner kick is taken. I see about 6 red shirts in the area are waiting to receive the ball. Meanwhile, 2 sit at the back. Masha tries to run for a short pass. Here comes a long delivery. It's a low ball, but of course deflected, and that should be a foul. Yes, referee comes in big. A foul is awarded to, that is, Jamus. And that means a lot of time for them to reorganize and get back.
Yeah, a lot of time for them to reorganize, but I think good work coming in from Techlodge for Chikidi Koang. He should have really made it there, but I think if his target was to find Mohamed Musa, perhaps it would have yielded for them some fruits. But nonetheless, good defending there coming in from the Buffaloes. And there you are, starting from Tabani Samuel, who to me, I think is really struggling from that right back position. And I hope he really gets that support from the rest of the defenders. But good work from Techlodge store.
Well, Juma Gennaro sends it down the left. Passing it back to each other, 1-2, 1-2, and finally coming into the mid of the pitch with, of course, their number 9, that is Lamech Lok, getting involved with the proceedings. Sends it back home. And back to the left. It's a long one right there. Back to find Juma Gennaro. They did that with Pal when Juma was off his line, and they're still going back there. I mean, could this be a game plan?
It could be a game plan, but one thing that honestly you need to know is that Juma Gennaro is not a very good on the foot. You know that very well, even in the national team.
Well, here's an opportunity for Meeriekh, and of course taken away by Victor. I mean, quick interchanges between, that is Masa, and of course the big man, that is Mohamed Musa, almost produced something, but of course Victor kept his eyes on the ball, and produced that very particular resolution. Here comes Mohamed Kesra. Kesra has Bawak on the right and Yahya into the middle. But of course, his pass targeting Rodriguez is taken. Here comes a long ball right there. But of course, it's simply taken away by Awani. And of course, he's bulldozed. But of course, maintains his stamina and wins back possession. A long ball down the right. Taban is there. Controls it and has space. Kanikile, not quite. Gives it to Magong. It's a long one back to find, that is Victor. Finds Mohamed Kesra. Kesra, a lot of space for Kesra. Mohamed Musa is relaxed. He knows chasing the wind is not going to help, so he hangs in and waits for an opportunity to be produced. Tito Lukchir with a cross, a long diagonal going down the left, but of course it's headed away by Dominic. A long ball back home for Jamus. Of course, trying to make sure nothing gets there. And of course, Stavan has Magong ahead of him, but passes it down the left where Kesra is positioned all by himself. Yahya comes for the ball, but of course, he opts to go for a long one. Here comes Gaitan. Gaitan Maza It's a long one in between two defenders, but of course goes all the way back for Victor to reclaim possession for Jamus. Taban. Samuel Tabani taking his time. He has all the space in the world to explore. Sends it back home. Finds Victor Sachoma. Mohamed Ketra. He recently fully just recovered from a head injury. He's played a number of games with a bandage on his head. I mean, too much sacrifice for one man for a team.
Yeah, too much sacrifice for one man for a team, and taking that captain armband from Benjamin Lakulo Telek, who is also recovering from an injury. I think it means a lot to him. You would really say, okay, how about Tabani, the graduate from the Future Stars Football Academy? He should have also taken that advantage, but I think he comes with a lot of experience. The Sudanese now making that center defense there could really be a very good, identification by the coach.
Here comes Marik Bentiu. They give it away. Magong is all by himself. Teases Tito Lukchiu and sends it down the right. And of course, this could be a run down the left. Opportunity for a cross. Dominic pushes. And of course, a free kick is awarded to Jamus. Just yet at the edge of the box yet again. And of course, this right here is the second time. Similarly, in almost the same place.
Yeah, and of course, by the same player. There is none other than Lam Wardew there. He is very good on the long balls and upper balls because of his height. But I think when it comes to down balls, he's beaten, and he has to use that opportunity to, perhaps tap out an opponent. But unfortunately, he did use that tactics to put off the opponent, and that has really cost them. That is the second free kick, and I think that that one definitely, maybe the referee will have to enter his names into the books.
Well, here the two same players, Tito Lukchir and of course, he probably will be the one to take that.
Or maybe Boka, shot number 4 there, Tito Lushir, of course, is trusted to take that and still onto a corner. So another throw in there for the Buffaloes.
Bawak takes a long one. Well brought in. And a clearance comes in. Here is Masa. Gaishan takes a long one. Finds only white shards. And Tabani sends it to Yahya. Goes down the right. What can they do? It's a long one into the area. And misses it. I mean, this very particular defense of Marik Bentiu look like they will be creating problems for themselves.
Yeah, I told you, Lamb really need to settle into that right back position. Look at that kind of a miss. Assuming that ball was going direct, you would see the net shaking, and that could be very unfortunate from him. But I think he really need to settle and found himself as part of the team to making sure that he also contributes. But good one there, that they really missed that opportunity. That is the mass.
Here comes Yahya for Jamus. Yahya, what can he do? Swings the ball down the left. Opportunity for a cross. Not so many white shirts in the area awaiting, so you have to take his time. A little bit of delay. Here comes Magong. Fails to control the ball, but he is kept in play. Can he cross? Not quite, not yet. Pulls the trigger, and here comes a cross. Controls the ball. Can he shoot? He's pushed but maintains the ball. Can you cross the ball? Beautiful goal! And finally, Jamus have broken the deadlock. Sluggish defending from the Isa Lamwo, and Juba Gennaro cannot help but watch on.
Yeah, like I told you, that defense for AL-MEERIEKH really need to settle, and that is what you'll be able to get when you're not settled, and very bad and not good positioning there from Thomas Acher Tom there. He's a very formidable one, legendary in the national team. You remember very well he scored a goal here against Somalia some years ago, but very poor defending there from them. And that, if they continue like that, I think it will really cost them so very much. I'm seeing them interchanging now. Ater Thomas is going to be playing as a right back with the now Lam being taken as a left back, and I do not really think that it will really convince that defense line. And the coach, that is Hassan, has to really think very, very tactfully and see if he can rectify that defense.
Well, of course, in their previous game against Qatar, they went 2 goals down into the halftime break and came back clutch in the second half, scoring 2 goals in the first 5 minutes to claim a point in that game. An opportunity for Jamus to get a second. Referee says nothing, and play goes on. Here comes AL-MEERIEKH Bentiu. Can they try to threaten Jamus? Can they get back into the game? It's a long down the left, and of course, intercepted. Ball out of play, throw in for AL-MEERIKH Bentiu. Just bring the ball around the center cycle, and Masha. Yaya Lual. They're going down the left. You think they'll try as much as they can to try to avoid Eta Bawak. He's very, very physical, and I would say one of the most gifted players when it comes to football IQ and positioning, to be exact.
Yeah, that's right. You would also see his kind of display against Corium in the first leg. You would really think that he's a very, very good player, and he only needs that connectivity from his teammates. Boka is a very fantastic player, and we couldn't really cease to watch him in the South Sudan Premier League. The one thing that I'm also seeing that is missing from the Bantu team, I think AL-MEERIKH Bantu seems to be missing Samuel Anikebo, the Nigerian Djiboutian. I mean, he has that good partnership with Mohamed Musa up front, and that is why sometimes Mohamed Musa gets his goals. But there is a way he attracts the players and gives that a chance to Mohamed Musa to slot in the chance. But I think now it's not working. He's not there. Let me see if I can scroll through and check if he's also on the substitute bench. But I think he could be a very good contribution. But good work from the Buffaloes. Really, really very good work from the Buffaloes. Now leading 1-0. And they seem to be looking forward to get the second, maybe before the halftime whistle.
Here comes AL-MEERIKH through. That is Lomek. Lock. They go down the left. Can they simply get the ball across? That is the central defense. Pal heads it down the left. And of course, a little bit of a very confusing ball right there. I don't know if that was a pass or a clearance, but of course heads out for a throw in for Jamus. These very particular teams, of course, should be facing each other just yet again in the finals of Group B in the South Sudan Cup. And of course, there is yet an opportunity for them to meet in the nationals for the South Sudan Cup, meaning they are likely to face each other at least 2 more times.
Yeah, and looking at those records, it is only Jamus that has been so dominant. And looking at the Super Cup and looking at the league itself, Jamus have beaten AL-MEERIKH 3 times in 4 meetings, with the only AL-MEERIKH winning 1. So this will make a lot of, a lot of record for them. And like you said, maybe you're anticipating them to meet, but you never know. There are 8 teams. Let's see. Maybe there will be another surprising team that will be also giving us that run for the money. Free kick for AL-MEERIKH Bantu, and Tochilo Tor, you can call him Chiki de Kowang, will be taking this shot number 10 there for AL-MEERIKH Bantu.
And of course, a beautiful run from Atil Thomas before he was brought down. Let's see how much they can make out of this opportunity. About 6 red shots awaiting the delivery from Chikidi. How much of a gift is he? Here's a long one. You'll say it's a poor one right there from Chikidi. Taken away easily by Victor.
Yeah, they are not really looking at that defense commanded by Kesira, Samuel Tabane, and Yahya, shot number 30 there for the Buffaloes. And you think you can survive to really taking a very nice ball up? It can't work because they can easily intercept it. But it is maybe something that they should have worked upon. And that's a very poor defense there from Samuel Tabane. Like I told you, he's one player who is very good, but I think technically he should also work on his technical abilities to see how he can clear such balls. But let's see what that can produce for the Mars, AL-MEERIKH Bantu. Remember, these 2 teams represented the country in the continental competitions, with AL-MEERIKH, of course, are playing the Kenyan Giants, Gor Mahia, and beating them here at the Juba National Stadium only has to be humbled at Nyayo National Stadium 5-1, which is not, at home, yeah. And Jamus, of course, in the CAF Confederations Cup. So that really makes a very good one there. I do not really know who exactly is that free kick specialist, Kohang, now making those undelivered free kicks. I think they should now be able to look at someone else. What do you think, Nadisco?
I think too much workload for one man. Like they always say, too much of something becomes monotonous. So yes, no matter how good he is, if he's overloaded, it's definitely going to get tiring at some point. But yes, there's a lot of time in this particular game, and you think more of those opportunities will still come through. Let's see how many of them will be utilized, especially by him as an individual. Now here comes Tito. Brings the ball into central midfield where Yahya has been planted. Here's Bawak. Finds Christian. Avakanigo. Dispossessed. Merik Masa. Yahya. Peter beats two men. Still going through. Dilly dazzling through that very particular midfield. And wins a free kick for himself right there. It can only just be experience here. It's a combination of experience and talent at its finest. That's Peter Chol Bentiu right there. Dispossessed, and the clearance comes in, throw in for Bentiu.
Yeah, throw in for Bentiu, and a good work there coming in from Boaka. It's really a very good one there, but there you are, dispossessed, and so that is the quality, like you said, experience and quality is what defines this game. And let's see at the end of the day who will go home with the bragging rights in this competition. So many are calling it the Classico of the Premier League, of the South Sudan Premier League, but let's see. Because maybe it involves money backs per se, and indeed these two teams have spent a lot when it comes to bringing in players.
But of course, Judge Rodriguez tried to beat his man, but of course got dispossessed. Now Merik Bantiu through Gatan Masha with the ball. Dispossessed. Still a fight, and of course the referee gets involved. It's going to be a free kick awarded to Merik Bantiu. The Bentiu side, since conceding, have somehow settled a little bit, and of course have been able to string at least 4 passes together for the first time since the game started. Now building from the back with Lomach Lock getting involved. Here is the opportunity to get the ball across to the opposition side. It's a long one, but of course taken away by Eta Bawak with the clearance coming in from, that is Samuel Taban. It's a long one. Can he keep the ball in check? Yes, puts it down. What can he do with that? A cross cleared away by Eta Bawak. Out of bound. Throw in for Merik Bantiu. Atir Thomas has gotten Masha to the left. Goes to the right where there's Chikiti Kwang. Fails to keep it in play. Well, it's taken away by Jamus. Christian Rodriguez looking for Tito Lukchir. Dispossessed. Here is Merik Benti trying to launch a counter. They have the red shirts in the area. And a clearance from Mohamed Kesra. Brought down. Beautifully executed from Yaya Lual. Gives to Lomach. Back to Pal. Here's Yoel. Yaya. Gives to Lomach. Of course, Merik Bentiu looking a little bit organized and threatening for the first time since the game began. I mean, what do you think?
They seem to be coming back into the game, and I think maybe that shift of positioning between Thomas Ater-Tom and Lowell seem to be producing something, but they are giving a couple of some missed passes here and there, which to me will also cost them anyway. And that is why they have to improve anyway. And if they're going forward, and then they should be very, very technical in going forward. Like I said, Jamus also have a very, very good attacking throw-wise, led by Theodro. And the two Cameroonians are really doing very well there up front. And they have a free kick, and I am quite sure Tito Loshir will be the man to bring in that free kick for the Buffaloes.
And of course, what a run he had before he was brought down right there. And of course, yellow card produced in the process. The Buffaloes have 3 white shirts just around the penalty area and 1 beyond. Headed down there. Referee says, put it down. It's a free kick awarded to Meeriekh Bantu, and it's going to be a cooling break for both teams right there.
Yeah, that gives them a chance to regroup and finding themselves very closely, and maybe it also gives a chance for the coaches to technically, talk to the players, positioning themselves. You've seen the assistant coach of the national team there, who is also an assistant coach to the Buffaloes, talking to Kesra. I don't know what kind of instruction he's trying to say, but the cooling break really works for the two teams, for teams actually, and the players themselves a little bit bringing up back the temperature, cooling, and then a chance of speaking to each other, which is a good one. But looking at these 15 minutes proceeding, really tells you that a lot has gone in between themselves. 30 minutes proceedings rather. So Jamus should have really a little bit, being 2 goals up, but they couldn't also utilize those chances. And looking at AL-MEERIEKH now trying to really come back into the game. There is that player in the AL-MEERIEKH team, when he's on form, he fine-tunes the team, and that is Peter Bantu. When he has the ball, he gives those accurate passes. That is where AL-MEERIEKH Bantu at least will be getting some chances. But I think he's yet to, I can see him signaling, saying, you guys need to wake up, and giving all those that is required. So if Peter Bantu is real on form and he's in his moods of play, and as well as Dominic Aboy-Peterino with Torchilos, who is also operating from the left flank there for the Mars, I think they will really be able to a little bit get something, maybe before the halftime whistle goes.
Well, of course, the action is back, and Jamus will have to be covering the spaces as they will be on the defending side of the game, as Meeriekh Bantu have position. And of course, they're running down the left, trying to find Chikidi. But of course, there is so many white shirts up front, so they fall back. And now it's taken away by Muteri Yaya, with Meeriekh Bantu getting in to win position immediately. Here's an opportunity for Chol Bantu, crosses it to, of course, Chikidi goes out of play, a throw in for Jamus. There comes a throw for Jamus. Samuel is squeezing one in there, trying to find Tito Lokchir, but he's possessed. Opportunity for Meeriekh Bantu. Can he cross the ball? Opportunity. Can he shoot? Not quite. And of course, cleared away from danger, and it's simply handled. Opportunity of their lifetime.
Yeah, I thought Mohamed Musa should have really put that at the back, but I think it was a bouncing ball there for Mohamed Musa, who should have really made it for the Mars. But good work coming in from Mohamed Kesra. But I think, like I did mention earlier on, Samuel Tabani, the graduate from Future Stars Football Academy, has to really settle and put himself, as part of the team, and that will make the difference.
Of course, here comes Yahya, sends it back to Tabani. Tabani is taking his time. Opts to go back to the goalkeeper, Victor Sachoma. Victor sends a long one up front, where the 2 Buffaloes. Here's an opportunity for goal number 2 for Jamus. What can he do? Can he shoot? Punched away by goalkeeper Juba Gennaro. What an opportunity missed for the Buffaloes. Gives it away. Still room for a run. And of course, still opportunity for Jamus. Shot. And of course, blocked. It's going to be a corner kick for Jamus.
Yeah, a corner kick for Jamus, but it should have been 2-0. Baka, Theodoro there couldn't really put it at the back of the net. Juba Gennaro is one goalkeeper that is very, very good at such punches. And if you give him those direct hot shots, he will just punch them away. But good work really coming in from the national team veteran, Juba Gennaro Awad. He is 40 plus years, but playing like a 20-year-old player. So that is why you need experience into the team. Experience, shot coming in. Look at that kind of a miss, really.
I mean, only saved by the goalpost. Hits the woodwork. A rebound comes, hits it back again, and finally gets blocked by a defender. And Juba comes in big to reclaim that. Now here comes Marik Bantiu. The Mars have a whole lot of work to do. Falling deep back. Yaya, of course, alongside Dominic Abui, and that is Peter Chol Bantiu, who try to settle around the center cycle so they could be able to monitor every proceedings of the game. Here comes Abui, sends it to Pal. Pal finds Lomech. It's to Dominic. Abui, there's Masha. Masha controls it with his left foot, turns around, gives it to, that is Tigidi, dispossessed. It's a clearance right there. Can he get the ball? There's Pal. Pal sends it back to Juma Gennaro. Situation brought under control by Triple P. Lamor looks on. Yaya Lowell come close, trying to create that gap. And of course, here comes Meeriekh, who have been trying to have more of the ball. They've been trying to contain and dictate the momentum of the game. They have the position on the left flank. Here is space. There are two players on the right. A simple pass in between. That is Samuel Taban and Yahya. And Tabani comes in big with the clearance. Yahya puts it down. There is Peter Chol. Down the left, Masha. Masha puts it down. But of course, dispossessed. Interception comes in. And of course, goes all the way for a throw-in for Jamus.
Yeah, a throw-in for Jamus, but a good display there coming in from AL-MEERIEKH Bantu. I'm able to see them having 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 passes among themselves. But what those passes produce? Nothing. And I think that is what they need to look forward for. Giving those passes and having that clinical finishing in the 18-yard box is key for them. And I'm seeing the Buffaloes really coming back. I don't know if they are playing to making sure they maybe beat the Mars in a counter-attack, just like what Theodore did in a couple of minutes ago, giving them so big chance to penetrate through the defense. And but let's see. Chol Peter Bantu now commanding from the defense. They are looking for Lamech Lock to Chol Peter. Here comes Dominic Aboy in the left flank looking for Techlodge Lord. Techlodge or Chiki Dukwang being depossessed here. Not really. Tita Luchir couldn't find that. Still Torchledge. Can he produce something here? Passes it to Dominic Aboy. Still Torchledge Lord. Now Lomech. Chol Peter Bantu. Still possessing here. Looking for Chiki Dukwang or Torchledge. Sends it wide here. Cleared away by Mohamed Kesra. Still not so far. Now Dominic Aboy with that clinical pass there. Boaka wrestling it here. You'd say it's a wrestle anyway. But Dominic Aboy, what can you produce from the left flank? Still taking it back to Chol Peter Bantu for Demar. Still possessing here. Looking for the equalizer. Can he find? Not really. Goal kick for the Buffaloes. But you could be seeing Mohamed Musa not so happy with Thomas Atel because he couldn't get that. But I think it was really over the bar. And it is going to be a goal kick there for the Buffaloes. That will be started by the goalkeeper himself, the former Nigerian. He's still an active player, yes, for Nigeria. Look at that. I think it's a foul. It's going to be a foul for, that is the Buffaloes. And Paul Palpuk, Triple P, is the culprit there. Let's see what the Buffaloes will be able to produce. With, of course, shot number 10 there for the Buffaloes will be able Christian Theodro, the Central Africa Republic International. Let's see, Theodoro looking for Malish Joseph Magong, taking it to Boaka. Boaka bringing it back to the goalkeeper. Yeah, very good proceedings here for Jamus. Here comes Mohamed Kesra, taking it wide. The ball cleared away by Paul Pook, looking for Lamech. Gaitan Gaitan dodges one, looking for Lamech. Lamech still with the ball, and it is going to be a free kick against the Buffaloes. Good work coming in from Lamech. And Thomas Ater Tom taking it here, looking for Dominic Aboy. Free kick there against Yahya. And it is going to be another advantage there for the Mars to be taken quickly by, there is Chol Peter Bantu. Dominic Aboy looking for Techloch Lock. Techloch taking it here. He was looking for Mohamed Musa, but ball intercepted away. Here comes Buffaloes with Theodore Christian. Boaka. Tito Lushir. Dodges one. Here comes now another chance. Can really free kick awarded, and that is a very, 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 very dangerous tackle there on Paul Puk. Now the Cameroonian apparently going into the books of the referee. Going into the books of the referee, the Cameroonian there. There is George Rodriguez. Should be the second one after the Mars. Now this gives us another chance for players to also cool themselves. A little bit today, the weather is very good at Disco, not that so hot.
I mean, beside the weather, I think this game has been pretty much very balanced. We saw both teams thumb Corium. Somehow, a lot of people thought maybe it isn't just about the teams being so good. Maybe it's Corium being in a disastrous state right now. But looking at the teams going at each other, it will tell you probably they are very best at this very particular point in time. And for a team to be able to get maximum results against the other, it will tell you they should really be very, very good for them to do that.
Yeah, very good for them to do that. And that is where capability comes in. And that is why this squad that you're seeing on the pitch is a very, very huge squad. When you even come to value, this squad is valued very high. Looking at the finances being spent by both clubs tells you a lot. And earlier on, I was able to mention that these two teams they represented the country in the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup. And that is why they had to go to the market to make sure they have to bring in more and most experienced players. Paul Puk is up, and I think to me he could be one of the players that if he leaves, he would leave a lot of gap for the Mars. But thank God he's coming back, and I think that is good news for the Mars. It will be a free kick that will be taken quickly, and the referee is saying, Juma Gennaro, please retake that free kick. So free kick still retaken there, and looking for Lual from the left flank for the Mars. Lual to Paul Puk, who was injured and now on the foot, still taking it back to Chol Peter Bantu. Very formidable and versatile player here, looking for Mohamed Musa. Mohamed Musa being pushed with the chest by Tabani Samuel, graduate from the Future Stars Football Academy, doing very well. He was in Djibouti. He did play for one of the clubs in Djibouti, Djibouti Telecoms. Before that, then I played for Qatar, and there you are now coming to Jamus. So he has really moved into so many clubs, but before that, he started his game at the Future Stars Football Academy. Free kick to be taken by Techloch, bringing it into the 18 box, punch, and Gaitan couldn't get that from that header from Dominic Aboy. To be a goal kick there for the Buffaloes, and of course that will be restarted there by Victor Soma, and he's saying go, 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 go. Now let me take it so wide.
I think probably that was the best free kick Merrick Bentiu have taken. This was well calculated, and at least they were the first to receive the ball. Despite not really making much of an impact with that, it was at least a targeted, of course, delivery which went to the right player. Now here comes Jamus with a run down the left. Can he cross that ball? It's a low ball, but of course blocked. It's going to be a corner kick for Jamus.
Yeah, a corner kick for Jamus, and I think they have really produced so many corner kicks there for the Buffaloes. Perhaps one of the teams that has gotten corner kicks there. That should be their third corner kick for the Buffaloes, with, of course, Al-MEERIEKH only having one. Let's see what this will be able to produce. Mohamed Kesra now in the 18-yard. Yahya as well part of the mix, but ball intercepted away by Paul Pook. A lot of wrestling here and there. Boaka still holding the ball. Now he has to be bringing it back to Samedi, the player who has to be coming in for Wani Evans, because there should be another, I think, a very technical interchange before the release. Now here comes Tito Lushir. Tito Lushir, what can he do?
I think that's a very poor decision from Tito right there. I expect him to go with the left foot pass and, you know, simply just slice it through to the penalty spot. But simply he went behind the defender. And I think that was way too far from, of course, Rodriguez to be able to make an impact right there. But, of course, kudos to Juma Gennaro for not panicking right there.
Like I told you, experience is a very good teacher. And you need to have that experience. Juma Gennaro is not beatable whatsoever. He has been in so many stadiums. that games that have been watched with so many crowd of people. And when it comes to experience, for sure, he is one of the most experienced player on this pitch, followed by Juma Gennaro Awad. That is Thomas, Atero Thomas Tom, and of course Achol Peter Bantu, as well as the goal passer there. Now Lomech trying his chance there, but he's off the bar. And
great opportunity right there.
That is a very great opportunity, but you can't give someone like Mohamed Musa such balls because he can't jump into that height. Anyway, but a good attempt.
Good attempt overall. Well, of course, Victor Sachoma will be restarting the proceedings for Jamus. It's a goal kick. And he's going to opt for a long ball. Beautiful control. Can he keep it in check? Yes, he does. It's a long one right there behind the defender. Oh, Tito Luchi, can he get there for Juma Gennaro? Not quite. Juma with the clearance. And it's brought down. Marik Bentiu have Yaya. And, of course, Gaitan now. Gaitan finds that's Chikidi. They're making a run. They've been utilizing the left flank of the pitch. And of course, it's a long ball in the middle of the park. And of course, intercepted. Magong is beaten. An opportunity for, oh my God. Victor steps in, makes the dive right there. Opportunity for Gaisa Matan. Can he finish that ball off? Shot! Defended! Shot! Punched away! That's going to be a goal kick for Jamus. And of course, what an opportunity MEERIEKH created for themselves. It wasn't just too good to get in.
Yeah, a lot of mixes, and I think a lot of wide shots in the 16-yard box that made Gaitan Naida Mohamed Musa to really slot that at the back of the net. A very good opportunity there for them with, of course, the Mars they are protesting for a penalty, which to me I didn't see that really because the ball seemed to be bouncing amongst their faces, and it's really very bad that you're really not utilizing such opportunities at the disco, and that is what will really hamper you, and that will haunt you at the end of the day. But I think they seem to be coming back into the game. Like I told you, that only 3 players will be the ones to really bring the mass into this game. And I'm talking about Chol Peter Bantu, and I'm talking about Dominic Aboy, and I'm also talking about the likes of Techloch Lok. So these 3 players, you see them having contribution into that. And I'm seeing Dominic Aboy and Mohamed Kesra, they did play it in the Sudanese Premier League, and they're now having a conversation among themselves. Maybe they're having a discussion on what exactly they transpired into that. We are almost into the halftime break, and seeing the third official, they are awarding 3 added minutes before the end of the first half. But what a good proceeding there from the 2 teams that they score.
Well, of course, Jamus have a couple of players already warming up. It could be, just to make sure it's calm. That is definitely not a shot. Simply just couldn't hold onto the ball anymore and decided to let go of it. And of course, it's going to be a goal kick for MEERIEKH Bantu. 2 minutes and a couple of seconds to make an impact before the break. Otherwise, it is still Jamus 1, MEERIEKH Bantu 0. It's a long ball right there, beautifully controlled. And of course, it's kept in check. MEERIKH Bantu with the numbers on the left, including Chikidi Kwang, Masha as well drifting down the left. A throw in is awarded to the Mars. It's a long one. And of course, Bawak with a bicycle kick right there. Gets the ball off the designated area. It's a throw in for Meeriekh Bantu. Masha puts it down. Squeezes the ball in between his legs. But of course, is dispossessed. Clearance from Bawak. Headed back in by Pal. Malish Magong gets position back for that is Jamus. It's a long one right there, but of course off the danger area. Goal kick for Meeriekh Bantu.
Not a very good decision there from Tito Lushir, and I think George Rodriguez was preparing himself to receive that pass from Tito Lushir, but a very wrong decision, and I think that is the second that he has done for himself. Maybe in the break, that is what they should be putting themselves into, that kind of discussion, and see how they can really have that great connectivity amongst themselves.
Masha passes to his teammate, that is Peter Chol Bantu. He's dispossessed, and Chol commits a foul. It's a free kick for Jamus. 2 players down, but of course there's definitely going to be one free kick right there to be taken. Well, the medics call on to the field of play, and that will definitely show you a couple of seconds will be wasted on that. Mohamed Kisra picks up the ball. He will be awaiting for the green light from the center referee to get the action back underway. Of course, some fans are already leaving their seats to go get themselves refreshments. Otherwise, we think the last 45 minutes of this very particular game could be a determining factor.
Yeah, like I said, still a lot that we'll be looking forward for, especially in the second half of this game, because if AL-MEERIEKH scores and level matters, I think it will change the whole momentum, and I can assure you it will even change the whole atmosphere in the stadium. But let's see. That's why fans will have to look forward to re-energize and coming back to also put a lot of energy in watching this beautiful game here at the Juba National Stadium. The MTN South Sudan Premier League, remember, is proudly sponsored by MTN, one of the greatest networks in the country.
Well, here comes Meeriekh Bantu, an opportunity for them to get an equalizer before the break. Can he cross it? No, he goes for a shot, and of course goes inches wide. Goal kick. Well, positioned himself quite well, just at the edge of the box, and released that very particular shot. Quite unfortunate, couldn't get on a target.
Yeah, and Touch Lodge there getting it with his right foot. But everyone, all of us knows he's very good at his left foot. So a very good chance there for the Mars, and that, of course, takes them into the halftime break for the two teams. Remember, it is AL-MEERIEKH FC of Bantu 0, and Jamus FC of Juba 1. A goal that was scored in by George Rodriguez, the Cameroonian there. So doing very fantastic job for the Buffaloes. I'm seeing him there, and limping. Affected him, but yeah, coming back into the second half with a lot of energy and lots of technical ability, maybe to bringing it back the opportunities, especially for the Mars. And Jamus also maybe looking forward to say, okay, let's still continue with the proceeding and giving in a lot of pressure for the Mars. Maybe slotting in 1 or 2 goals there.
For the halftime break, we'll be coming back for the final minutes of the game. My name is Sspl 211, and I'm on Alfredo in the commentary box. Of course, welcoming you back for the second half. AL-MEERIEKH FC Bantu have made the first substitution of the game. Taking off, that is Terry Thomas, and bringing on the, of course, Djibouti national team player, that is Samuel Akinbino. And of course, there comes a tackle, a great one by the way, still maintains position. Masha sends one down the left flank. It's a run for, that is MEERIEKH. Still continues to make strides. What can he do? Can make something out of these? Opportunity to get into the box. Can he cross the ball? Here comes across, but of course a beautiful defending right there from, that is Eta Bawak. It's going to be a throw in for AL-MEERIEKH FC of Bantu. I mean, high momentum in the second half. Could we be seeing another comeback just like it did against Qatar?
Quite a good one there. Now they are produced for themselves a corner kick. That is AL-MEERIEKH of Bantu. I was talking about the substitution made by AL-MEERIKH. I think Terry Thomas was substituted, but I'm still seeing him on the pitch. I'm yet to identify who Samuel Nikiwo has come in for. But yes, a very good one there, and it's going to be a corner kick for AL-MEERIKH FC of Bantu. Let's see what this will be able to produce for them.
Well, of course, a corner kick loading for, that is AL-MEERIKH. They have 4 players already in the penalty area. Comes across, but of course, well dealt with. And of course, still making the run. And of course, Yaya Lual sends one down the right where the corner kick was taken from. But there is absolutely nobody to pick it up. So it's going to be a throw in for Jamus. Some fans are yet to get back to their seats. Meanwhile, AL-MEERIKH have already had their first attempt of the second half. Here's a clearance for Jamus, not very far from danger. And of course, Jamus will have a lot of space. Tito Luchir forces a through ball. And of course, it's going to be a run. Tito, his pass is intercepted. And looks like Jamus have made substitution as well. I'm seeing, of course, the national team player right there, Johanna Paulino Cisse. He has been introduced, yet to figure out who exactly has made way for him. George, I think he was on a card. I think that is technically a very good substitution right there for the team.
Yeah, very technical, and especially when you're in a very high-flying game like this. You definitely need to keep your players and maybe prepare them for the next game. Very bad news there for AL-MEERIKH because Paul Pook, I remember him getting an injury, and now he is seated. Now, let's see if he will be on his foot. Paul Pook, one very, very important player for AL-MEERIKH FC Bantu. And I've seen Juma Gennaro really telling him, my friend, this is what we will be dealing with, and don't have to surrender. Please come up, get the treatment, and make sure you're on your feet to making sure we challenge for this. So that is it. That is Paul Pook, who has apparently brought the game still to stand still. There you are. He is up there. Paul Pook, he is up, and he's saying he's fit. He's very good. He's good. And so that is it there for you. Now throw in for Jamus to be taken by Boaka. Shot number 4 there for the Buffaloes. Can he produce something? Quickly taken here to Yahya. Still now, Cisse! That could have been 2-0. That is.
The jump, it flies in with so much space, very comfortable, and heads in very powerful. Quite unfortunate that he didn't get the target.
Yeah, sure. And the one player that I think should have really partnered him very well is also injured. And I call him, man, can't he stop scoring? But of course, Cisse, I don't really know what shook him to go into that direction, taken a very bad direction there. But yes, likely enough for AL-MEERIKH, they're still 1-0 down. It would have been 2-0 down, but let's see, maybe a good luck for them there to reflect into and getting yet another chance. But unfortunately, it's going to be a throw in there for the Buffaloes.
Well, probably a topic for another day, but you can't overlook the fact that Johanna Paulino Cisse and Isbur Malish are very, very gifted players when it comes to aerial balls. They always make sure whenever they fly into the air, the ball hits the target. Here comes Lomach Lock. Tries to dink a pass over the defense, but of course gets intercepted. Throw in for Meeriekh. Atir Thomas will take the honors. Sends a long one back home. There's Pal to receive. Pal. Triple P goes for a long ball. There is Akim Binu Samuel who is being targeted. Kept in play, and of course contact is made. Referee says play on. Opportunity for Meeriekh Bentiu. Sends a pass back home. And of course Atir pulls the ball out of play. Of course, from where I see it, looked like there was a very high boot right there. But of course the referee, who is yards away, said no, nothing to contest for. A play on.
Yeah, the referee has a very good vision than where we are. But I think he says nothing goes on. But I think there should be a touch on his face. That is Tabani Malish. They graduate from a Future Stars Football Academy, who also did play the way in Djibouti, the Premier League for Djibouti, playing for Djibouti Telecoms. But there you are. He's up on his feet, and could be a very good news. But the referee is saying there was actually nothing. But I love the confidence and how the center referee is trying to calm down the game, the disco.
Well, of course, what yet remains to be seen is if, for the sake of fair play, the ball is going to be given back to Meeriekh. Otherwise, the first assistant referee says it's a throw-in for Jamus right there. Well, they give the ball to, that is Meeriekh. Juma Gennaro has Pal in front of him, and Atir Thomas on the left. Picks it up, gives it to Pal. Pal goes into the heart of the midfield. There is a Lock. Of course, Peter to Pal. To Peter, goes down, wins a free kick for the Mars. Not impressed. He looks agitated, but of course, another schoolboy mistake, raises an elbow in a situation where he is completely free and has all the space, commits a foul, and it's going to be given to Jamus.
Yeah, that is a very bad one there coming in from Ahmad Musa, and I think there was a tap on. That is Messi's face, so that produces them for. That is Mehdi Rada. That produces them a free kick that will be taken by the captain, Muhammad Kesira, there for them. But especially discipline is also key, and that is why experience matters. So let's see, produced there, and a tap from Johanna, there, good one there into the hands of the captain, Juma Gennaro Awad for AL-MEERIEKH FC of Bantu, who are seated at number 3 on the table log. And, that is a good one there. Kator, after their 6-1 thumping of the Grasshoppers, are still on top of the log. And Jamus, who are currently on right now, leading AL-MEERIEKH through George Rodriguez's goal, are seated at number 2 on the log. And good one there, the MTN South Sudan Premier League. Here comes Jamus. Boaka taking it wide here, looking for Johanna. Can he find? Not really. Ball intercepted away, and that could be a very bad one there. There have been teammates at the national team, and that is why there is no too much reaction coming from Paul Pook, because they have been together for quite some time. Remember, Paul Pook, the disco, started his football with St. Peter in the Juba local league. He went on to play for that is Munuki Football Club, and also went on to play for AL-MEERIEKH FC of Juba. So he has a very long history after coming back from the Chinese league there, Goyang Citizen. So he is very, very experienced defender here, the disco. Here comes Losir. What can he produce? Boka shot! And experience is the best teacher. Juba Gennaro coming up with that tap and just catches it with confidence that this go good one there. I love watching him, especially in such games.
And of course, yeah, here comes Chikidi. Chikidi trying to create space for himself and his teammates. Has a whole lot of space. Here gives it to, and of course, referee says, put it down. It's going to be a free kick for, that is Meeriekh Bentiu. And a second yellow card for Jamus is, of course, produced right about there. And I think, talking about that save from Juba Gennaro, really incredible right there, especially the fact that Bawaka tried to stretch him off, going far from, the near post. Incredible technique right there, but of course, good game reading from Juba Gennaro.
Indeed, good game reading. Like I did mention earlier on, a very experienced, one of the oldest players on the pitch. And that is the quality of this play you need to produce, especially when you need to get yourself into your team and maybe getting yourself some points for the team. Mangar, therefore, Jamus has been told to go and warm up, perhaps to see if he'll be able to also be involving himself into the game. But of course, a free kick, is it going to be Samuel or Loch Lamech? Probably Lamech taking wide ball taken away, and it's going to be a corner kick for AL-MEERIEKH of Bentiu. Perhaps the second corner kick there for the Mars.
Well, of course, they have had those, but I've yet to utilize any of them. So many red shots exploring the space, but of course, Victor Sachoma picks it up for Jamus. Here now comes the run. Jamus, it's a 2 against 4. And of course, Johanna Paulino beats his man. Can he get into the area? He's, of course, well dealt with. Simply wins possession back. And of course, the game flow continues. AL-MEERIEKH Bentiu, they're trying to look for an equalizer. Meanwhile, Jamus FC are trying to hang on to their slim lead. It's going to be a tough time for both teams. Simply walking over and of course letting the flow of the game continue. Chikidi is the target, but of course deflected. And here comes Atir Thomas, beautifully kept in the space. Here comes Chikidi. Can he beat Bawak? Not quite. And of course, Samuel gets the ball off the danger zone. Bawak with the clearance. Doesn't really clear, but dinks it over. That is his opponent. Goes out of play. Throw in for Meeriekh Bentiu. It's a long throw. And of course, heading into the area. Cleared. And of course, it's going to be a free kick for, that is Jamus right there. Of course, you can't take this away. In as much as they're still trailing Jamus by a goal to nil, you would think Meeriekh Bentiu have been a better team in the second half.
Yeah, a better team in the second half, producing 2 corner kicks and having those interceptions. I think it's a very good one there. And a technical ability coming in from Hassan, the coach, Gaitan, now with the ball. Ball intercepted away. Here comes Lushir here comes Mehdi. Mehdi for the Buffaloes. Who is looking for? He's looking for another chance, but Christian Theodro, can he get something? Yes, another chance here, and Johanna punched away for a corner. Yeah, and experience, like I said. Good work there coming in from Juba Gennaro Awad, and a very tremendous shot coming in from Johanna. So, you know, I mean, they are really very hungry, very hungry, and they needed to have so many goals, perhaps to seal off this game. And a corner kick perhaps would also yield for them some fruits here. That will be taken in by Theodore Christian for the Buffaloes. And the referee is saying, first stop that. Let me speak to these players. Kesra and Thomas Tom has been told to please tie his shoelaces very well before this corner kick could be taken. Now, corner kick will be produced by Theodore Christian, the Buffaloes forward. Taken wide and Kesra off the bar.
Poor decision from him right there. So much space for him to literally head the ball towards the ground, which of course is what is done by most attackers. Unfortunately, he's a defender, so he's used to clearing, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, that is what produces, what a defender can produce, rather. Looking at the fact that he's not able to position himself very well. His technical ability as a defender was not read very well. But good work there coming in from the captain, the Sudanese centre back for the Buffaloes. A free kick to be taken by Chol Peter Bantu, who apparently has been operating as a right back for the Buffaloes. A very technical interchange for the Mass. Here comes Paul Pook, dodges one to Yahya, roll, dodges one, still him. Now here comes Dominic Aboy Peterino looking for Chikdi Kowang. Touch lock, dodges one, Lamech lock, dodges one, still holding the ball, Lamech. Now here comes Dominic Aboy. Can he get that ball? Yes, indeed. Ball cleared away finally. It's going to be a throw in for AL-MEERIEKH FC Bantu. Very, very good proceeding. And a substitute here, we will be seeing one of the young promising players here, shot number 22, that will be coming on.
Monday will definitely be coming on for Masha. I think it's a very good substitution right there for them. Not much of Masha seen that is in the second half. And of course, I think Monday will definitely put his pace to purpose for this particular team, especially that now they have possession.
Yeah, now that they have possession. Very good one there, but of course the league goal top scorer apparently is also being substituted. Mohamed Musa couldn't really produce something. Now it will be Samuel Nikebo, of course, a Djiboutian international who will be now tasked to look for goals there. So the Buffaloes are also preparing for Mangar. They are signing all the way from Atilabara to be brought in here. I do not know who is going to be coming in for. Perhaps Tito Loshir or Magong Malish, whom I haven't really seen him in the game as that much there. Now, Tito Loshir, what can he do? Tito produces it here. Ball cleared away by Paul Pook. Here comes Ater Thomas. Now, Lamech, lock, Lamech. Monday. Ball taken away by Magong Malis. Now it's going to be a free kick. And fans are getting angry. Now, here, Tito Lucia apparently is going to be paving way for Mangar. They're signing from Atilabara. He did really got himself into the game a little bit, but now Tito Lucia had to apparently leave and paving way for Mangar. A very dangerous substitute there. What partnership could that really produce for the Buffaloes? But for that is a free kick, and Paul quickly taking it here to Dominic Aboy into the left flank. Now, and here Sade just misses it. Magong taking it to the goalkeeper, and he has to just clear it. Christian, what is this that I'm seeing? Very bad tackle here from Ater Thomas Tom. Ater Thomas Tom, that was a high-flying boot, and should have really hit his chest. The medics had to rush in quickly. Ater Thomas, is he going to get something? Or it is basically going to be an attention that will be given to Christian Theodro. Remember, Christian Theodro comes in from Central African Republic, right?
Yeah.
And he is one guy that has represented here, but not him really that much. But Mangar, who just came in actually into that game, a little bit of some mix here and there. Now Mangar is actually talking to Ater Thomas, who had that ball, that boot on him actually, and yeah, that kind of interaction. The referee is saying, "You guy, you fell down. You're supposed to come out." and we have to readmit you on the pitch.
Well, of course, the former, of course, top scorer for the Juba First Division, played for Atlabara. That is Mayor, now playing straight for, that is Jamus. Not getting minutes as such, but of course, he has been able to register his name on the score sheet. On the few occasions he has been introduced in the game. Now comes Monday, takes it down the right flank. Meeriekh Bentiu looking for an equalizer desperately. But of course, tough times, long clearance right there for Jamus. Goes all the way for a throw-in. Of course, a number of Jamus players warming up. I do know for a fact not all those players will come on. They have utilized 2 of the 5 substitutions already, with the introduction of Johanna Paulino Cisse and David Mayor Kafu. It's a long shot right there, but of course goes wide. It's going to be a goal kick for Meeriekh Bentiu, for Jamus rather, with of course Victor Sachoma taking care of that. I mean, you said an important point a little bit earlier on. Magong has completely had 0 impact on the game. You think Mario Taban Albano would have done far much better than he has done?
Sure. Mario Taban is one of his colleagues from the academy. You could really say one of the academies you need to credit is the Future Stars Football Academy for producing such brilliant players. So Magong, to me, I think he's still recovering from his injury, and he is yet to put himself really into the game. I haven't seen a lot of impact on him today, but he has been also, so versatile, at least a little bit intercepting some of the balls here and there. So Mario, we might see him being introduced. Let me see if he's part of that. Yes, he's part of the players warming up there, including Omar Luate. Michael is also a very, very good holding midfielder there. So let's see, 8 of the 2, who will the coach go for to bring in a lot of stability maybe in that midfield, and even create more creativity role for the team to produce maybe the second goal, or perhaps holding it into this level.
And of course, the players are still being attended to, and of course, communication never stops between members of the technical team and the players on the pitch, including they just introduced, that is Madid Kafu coming out for a drink. It's been a tough few minutes. I mean, for a player who does not get so many minutes, it would be overwhelming to make those runs, especially in those few minutes. But of course, good enough. Both players, Christian Todero and Paul Paul, are back on their feet, and action is back underway. Dominic Abui squeezes one in, finds Monday. Monday is dispossessed now. Here comes an opportunity for Jamus to launch an attack. They have 4 players on the opposing side of the pitch. Can they get the ball to the box? What can he do? Goes down. Referee says play on. Says there's no foul committed there. And now Meeriekh Bentiu are on a run. What can they do? What can they make of this very particular opportunity? Really dances around the ball. Delays until Jamus have numbers at the back. But then they still maintain possession. And of course, opportunity for a clearance. Not quite. Can he shoot? Blocked. Taken away by the goalkeeper. Out of bound is going to be a corner kick for Meeriekh Bentiu. 3 corner kicks in a row for them, without any for Jamus.
Yeah, the question is, what will those corner kicks really produce for Jamus? I'm seeing the referee really rushing here, and the assistant should be one of the players being yellow carded who couldn't really view it very well from our side. But one of the persons on the bench for Jamus has been yellow carded through the, of course, the assistance from the 4th official. But corner kick here to be produced. Taken it wide, cleared away by Yahya. Now what will this do for Christian Theodro? Ball taken away. It's going to be a throw in for Demas. That will be taken quickly by Monday. Now he's looking for Lamech. And shot coming in. Good work there coming in. But that simply goes very just a cool one there. The team doctor is one guy that has gone into the books of the
Well, it looks like it's Daudi, who has been shown a yellow card.
Okay.
He's the team manager. And yes, that tells a lot. Looks like there's a lot of friction on the bench. You know, there's been so much of action on the sidelines as compared to that on the field of play. If you were here yesterday for the game in the Greater Barrack Azal derby between Wajuma and Holy Family, you'd have seen Coach William Mayor right there, very animated, you know, heading balls from the sides of the pitch. Great defending right there from Jamus. And of course, another corner kick for Merrick Bentiu.
Yeah, another corner kick for Merrick Bentiu. Now, this is going to be the fourth one in a row. But the question is, we've been asking, not really producing something for the Mars. I do not know how they are not able to utilize their set pieces, really. So Clark, shot! And what a chance! What a chance coming in. That should have really be into the back of the net. But Monday, of course, goes into the other direction. The ball decided to change its direction. That is go.
Very unfortunate for Mande right there. I think he really calculated, you know, the gap between him and Victor Sachoma, and really did his thing. Quite unfortunate, he couldn't really get the target. But yes, it is just a matter of time. Merrick Bentiu are increasingly looking more dangerous, and that tells you, should Jamus not do anything tangible, it could just be a time stopping that is Merrick Bentiu from scoring. Here's a contest. It's won by Jamus. What can Christian do? Shakes off his man. He's in an offside position. And of course, Paul comes for the recovery. His clearance goes out of bounds. It's a throw in for Jamus.
I mean, what does Atel Thomas wanted to do? Does he want to hold the ball? It is past him anyway. But quickly taken, Mayar. Can he get the ball depossessed? Here comes Lamech Locke looking for Samuel. Samuel taking it, but couldn't find Dominic Aboy. Now here comes Kesra, clearing it here into the half play. Ball intercepted away. Still Lamech Locke. Now Samuel, the Djiboutian international, still holding the ball to the shot number 7, Dominic Aboy. And still not producing anything. A corner kick. Now the 5th one in a row, but still not really producing something there for the Mars. Very worrying situation for the Mars, really. Maybe the coach has to go into his books, the disco. I mean, how to tell his players to utilize set pieces.
I think Jamus could simply introduce, I think, Koto and Mario Taban. There are two players very good with, you know, containing pressure. I think all these comes right from the middle of the park. It's been quite loose for them. An opportunity for Jamus to put the ball at the back of the net and put the game to bed. Can he shoot? Goal! And Jamus are the second for the game. And this has proudly given them the leverage. You think somewhat, somehow, they are much closer to the 3 points and than they have ever been in this very particular game.
Yeah, indeed, and very good work there coming in from Teodoro. I mean, like I told you, AL-MEERIEKH with that defense, if they don't put themselves very well, that will bring them a lot of worry and a lot of misery. And there you are, now being punished. It's 2-0 to the Buffaloes. Yeah, this time around, Juma Gennaro Awad being beaten, though he followed the ball, but a very clinical finish coming in from of course, Cameroonian international, rather the Central African Republic. I mean, very, very good work. Kudos. And now 2-0. I think it will be a uphill task for the Mars right in this time at the disco.
Well, of course, they had the momentum, they had the possession, they had the opportunities to level matters, but they didn't. Now they've been punished, and Jamus have taken a 2-0 lead. This would be really quite a miracle if they can be able to get back into this very particular game and get something out of it. Peter Chol Bentiu passes the ball down the right. Merrick Bentiu, can they get back in the game? Jamus yet again launching a counter. 3 players down the right. He goes down. Referee says advantage. Play on. What can they do? Goes down. Referee says play on. Nothing to contest for. Now here comes the Mars. Can he send the ball down the left? Maintains position. Lomach, a long one. Doesn't find target. Bawak controls it without even looking at it. And of course, here is gives it away. Yaya Lual finds that Dominic Abui. Shot shoot. Well blocked right there. Substitution. Quoto is coming. Rather, Mario Taban is coming on. And Mohamed Adil is definitely going to come out.
Yeah, Mohamed Adil really having scored a very fantastic goal. And now here comes Kauto. But of course, before that, he is actually paving way for, yes, Malis Magong coming in for Kauto. Like we did say earlier on, having only a little impact, but a very formidable one there for Malis Magong Joseph. Here comes Kauto, who is now, of course, coming in. Mario Taban Serelino. Mario Taban Serelino coming in for Malish. A good substitution and a very good production there. So Mohamed Adil, who did tapped in the second goal for the Buffaloes, also paving way for the shot number 2 there for the Buffaloes. That is Isaka Diarra. So Diarra, I remember him very well, the Mali international. He should have had a couple of some games here at the Juba National Stadium a couple of some years ago. I remember very well South Sudan did first Mali for a couple of some times. so many times. But surprisingly, Dadisco, it is the fans of AL-MEERIEKH that are still putting lots of momentum. But the Jamus fans, you do not know what happened, but they have decided to a little bit go quiet.
You know, they say sometimes it is who needs it most that has, you know, to make more sacrifices. So yes, it could be a sign that AL-MEERIEKH needs this more than Jamus, and that's why you think the fans are still on at the edges of their seats, and of course standing behind the team, trying to give them every form of energy possible. Looks like Triple P is not going to continue with the game. He's finally moved to the sides, and you might think Jamus, rather AL-MEERIEKH Bentiu will be forced to make a substitution. Yes, Yaya Lual leaves it to Chol Peter Bentiu. Peter Chol Bentiu. Yaya Lual. Yaya Lual is put in a box, forced, but of course makes an incredible pass to find, that is Dominic Abui. Dominic Abui is dispossessed. Eta Bawak, very hard to beat, wins a throw for Jamus. Starts a very simple one, and Bawak with the clearance. Finds Cisse. Cisse beats Lual. Passes the ball home. He goes down. The referee says play on. There comes Diarra. Completes his pass. Jamus now on attack. And that is the counter. What can they do? Shot! But of course, way far from danger. And Juma Junaro looks on as it goes out of play. Goal kick. Restarts it quickly. Can Jamus hold on to this very particular lead, or will AL-MEERIEKH be able to get one back to be able to have something worth fighting for?
It's a very good question, Dadisco. But this question will be able to be answered when the two teams will be able to give something on the table, especially for AL-MEERIKH. Now here comes the young lad, shot number 22. Good pass, miss, shot coming in, deflected away. Good work coming in from Samuel Tabani. Now this is where you would thank him really, because it should have been 2-1. But let's see, still, of course, the Buffaloes determining that Kauto really doing a very fantastic job. Now it is going to be a throw-in, and that will be taken by Chol Peter Bantiu for AL-MEERIEKH FC of Bantiu. Imagine this name, Chol Peter Bantiu, AL-MEERIKH FC of Bantiu. Now naming you with the name of your town, it's very incredible.
Really huge right there. And of course, he doesn't only have to play for himself, but for the whole town.
Exactly. Now, here comes Juma Gennaro to Ater Thomas Tom. And Ater Thomas, who is looking for Chot Peter Bantu for AL-MEERIEKH FC or Bantu. Chot Peter still operating from the right flanks. Chot Peter still with the ball. Who is looking for Sunday? Can he get anything? Ball cleared away by Mohamed Kesra. Not so far. A lot of mixes here and there. Yeah, here in the mix. Here comes Theodore Christian. Not so far. Here comes Chikidi Kowang. What can he do? Passes it to Dominic Aboy. Now here comes the substitute. What can he do? Offside.
Well, of course,
proceedings.
Yeah, too much of a proper build-up right there for AL-MEERIEKH Bantu. But of course, looks like they simply just going to break that Jamus defense.
Couldn't really break that Jamus defense, but good one coming in from Totmet, the substitute for Mohamed Musa. One player is down, and that should be the captain, Kesra, who feels he was elbowed in that mixes here and there. Now the medics have to be called in to attend him, and how long will that take? Now Kawuto has been called in to be given more instructions by Hakim Rezik, the assistant coach of Jamus. He is also an assistant coach to the senior national team, the Bright Star. Now, some of these momentums, some of these moments actually gives an opportunity for the players to re-energize themselves. And looking at this, now, exactly where Juma Gennaro is standing was why he was beaten to concede that second goal. And it is going to be a free kick. A free kick quickly.
I think it restarted the game on the offside call just before Kesra went down. And of course, as he say, is asking for the ball. He wants to run down the right wing. This could be dangerous if it is missed. Yes, it is missed. Sisse gets in to spot right there. He has Juma, Peter Bendu to beat rather. Goes down. Referee says play on. Still kept in play. And of course, Yaya coming in big right there. Puts the ball on his chest and passes it to his teammate. Yaya sends it down the left. Dominic Abui gives it back to Yaya. Yaya finds Dominic. Of course, dispossessed. Mario Taban, Koto. Numbers are there for, that is Jamus in the middle of the park. And of course, Bawak is beaten. Possession taken by Dominic Abui. Sends it back to Pal. Pal takes a long one. Headed in by Dominic Abui. Rather, of course, not Dominic Abui, but of course, Todd Mid. Dispossessed. It's a long one right there. Peter Bentu controls it. He's beaten. This could be dangerous for AL-MEERIEKH Bentu. What can Sisse do? Squeezes the ball, but of course, deflected. And AL-MEERIEKH Bentu claim possession right there.
Yeah, they actually survived. And I do not know what happened to Sisse. He should have really put that very well. But that kind of displacement is what also contributes to not taking in a very good slot at the back of the net. But good work there. Lamech Ulok now taking it wide. Here looking for Totmet. Cleared away by Boaka into the feet of that is our wall. Now here comes Ater Thomas. Tom looking for Sunday. Good work there. Shot coming in. And only to produce a goal kick for the Buffaloes. Well, these of course, at dangerous times requires dangerous situations. And I mean, that is the best he could do. The fact that they couldn't connect so quickly. Now, because a restart there for the Buffaloes, headed away by Mayar. Another header, looking for Christian. Here comes David Mayar. Now, Sisse dodges one. Well,
I think Sisse,
so comfortable there.
Sisse is a little bit, careful with his legs. He's not in a rush to take a risk. Otherwise, should this game have been, maybe a tied or, they're looking for a goal, I think Sisse would have taken extra risk. And you think with the opportunities he has had, he would have probably scored from those.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, those are very good opportunities. But the one thing with him, I do not know, maybe he's not very good at his left foot. but I've seen him in some occasions scoring on the left boot. A free kick. Now that is a right call there by the referee, and because Christian Theodore telling the fans that please wake up and give us that courage. Now free kick that will be delivered by Kauto, who came in as a subs for Malish Joseph Magong. You can call him like that. Now that free kick will be delivered in, and only 3 white shirts in the 18-yard box there, with the 4 of the red shirts into that mix. Now delivered here, headed away by Paul Pook. Very, very, very hard-working defender here, the Disco. Now Boaka, what can he do?
He's beaten his man and has the space. He goes low. A clearance. It's of course a put behind the goal post. It's going to be a corner kick for that is Jamus.
Yeah, a very roaring ball, just deflected, and it would have been a very bad name there for Paul Pook after producing a very tremendous work at the defense. Now to only also add into an own goal, it could have really add salt into a fresh wound. But let's see what that corner kick now quickly taken. Corner kick Kauto. Kauto quickly taken. Here comes Mayar David Kauto, offside. Now it's going to be an offside call by Duki Joseph, the first assistant referee in this game. Now, good one there. This game, now ball taken quickly. That comes Sunday. What can he do? Ball blocked here. The goal!
It's really fine to put it back in right there. The first attempt hits the crossbar and really puts the ball just behind the goalkeeper, Victor Sachoma. And ladies and gentlemen, AL-MEERIEKH Bentiu could finally be back in the game. They have a goal and they have something to fight for.
Yeah, indeed, something to fight for. Remember Samuel Anekebo, of course, did score 2 goals for his country, Djibouti, in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. And there you are, also coming into AL-MEERIEKH now, putting 1 goal back, perhaps give them a lot of confidence to see that they either share points in this game or perhaps even win it. But let's see what that will be able to. Now Juma Gennaro quickly playing to Chol Peter Bantiu. What can he do? Take it wide here into the 18-yard box, looking for Samuel. Another header, and now Chachoma being beaten. That is Sunday taking it wide above the bar, and it's going to be a goal kick for Jamus, the Buffaloes. Well, these are the moments, and the moments like this requires very clinical players, and one of the clinical player is Samuel Anekebo.
Well, if you look at the proceedings right from here, there's a lot of commotion on the touchline for Jamus. Of course, they really want the 3 points, but the game is not being played from the sides of the pitch. So yes, they can only give the instructions, and the execution will have to come from the players on the pitch, which of course, from the reaction of the technical team, looks like not what the game plan was like.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as a technical person, you should also have that ability to give the players that chance to making sure, because the instructions were on the pitch. Now a corner kick there, and the second half apparently has seen AL-MEERIEKH really producing so many corner kicks, but to my disappointment, and to the disappointment of so many fans, is those corner kicks are not yielding fruits for them. And this match is also being attended by so many media houses, and our colleagues from the media really taken up the media section, and that tells you how important this game is, that Disco.
True. Of course, the introduction of Nelson Mandé, former Moon KFC player, I think has brought a lot of energy back into this very particular AL-MEERIEKH Bentiu. Cross right there, punched away by the goalkeeper, another corner kick right there. AL-MEERIKH Bentiu really re-energized right now.
Yeah, Totmed, of course, as a sub, really doing that very well. Now the keeper is down. Chachoma, he doesn't require the medics to really come in for him, but a corner kick now, yet another introduction. We'll be seeing Domina Boyd Peterino being substituted by Jamus Jack. He is a former player for Munuki, and he also did play for Qatar. So there you are. Jack James, what can he produce? He was at one point 5 added minutes. He was at one point the top goal scorer of the Juba local league, and now into corner kick taken quickly into the hands of Chachoma. He's taking his own time. So FIFA has apparently introduced, if you have the ball with you as a goalkeeper for 8 seconds,
you get a yellow card.
you get a yellow card.
Well, of course, so many prepositions for game change, and we could see new rules come into the game next season. And of course, all this is just to better the game of football. Here comes Meerieekh. It's a long one launch into the box. Who gets there before the other? Goes down. Referee says play on. Cross! Headed away from danger. It's going to be a free kick. Awarded to Jamus. Meerieekh extremely looking dangerous right now. And Jamus hanging on to the lead by an eyelash.
Yeah, an eyelash there for sure. And I do not know when they have realized that it is good for them to really send the balls up front. Because if you have the likes of Samuel and you have the likes of Todd Met, now you have Jack James up front, Chikidi Kowang, Sunday as well in the mix, and of course Lamech Locke. You should be sending the balls up front to making sure that they go and mix. Maybe 1 or 2 chances will produce for your goal. But let's see, in only 4 minutes over the added. Now another mismatch here. Can they produce that? Not really. It is going to be quickly taken. Good display, but not so further. Ball taken away. Now, Kauto! Goal! What a goal! Now, what a celebration from Kauto.
That is probably the end of the game. Quarter, the substitute, got that ball. Mario carved it with so much excellence. And the party is lit right there. The fans for Jamus are dancing, and you think that should continue until when they go back home, because from where I stand, I don't see AL-MEERIEKH FC Bantu performing a miracle to get back in this game.
Yeah, with only 2 minutes of the 5 added minutes to go, one would say Mario apparently has put the last nail on the coffin to making sure that they go home with the 3 points there for Jamus. But really, very disastrous performance coming in from AL-MEERIEKH of Bantu. But the one player that you really have to thank him in that defense of AL-MEERIEKH of Bantu is Paul Pook. But I believe that still becomes another learning curve for Hassan, who apparently now has lost 1 and drawn 1 in his start as a coach of AL-MEERIKH FC of Bantu. Here comes Atel Thomas. Now ball still having, and it's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be a throw-in. Let's just ball cleared away. Here comes AL-MEERIKH of Bantu. Still ball taken. Totmate. Now here comes Lamech Locke. Chikidi Kowang looking for Jack James. Chol Peter Bantu. What can he produce from the right flanks? Here comes Chikidi Kowang. Can he get something here for the Mars? Not really. Another chance. And the referee is saying nothing so as that. And it's going to be a goal kick for the Buffaloes as it stands. Now Jack James apparently is up and running for the Buffaloes. The referee, now where is that yellow card going to go? Now Victor Choma has been yellow carded here. I think he didn't notice there was a ball already on the card. But ball taken away. Atel Thomas. And it's going to be a free kick for AL-MEERIKH of Bantu. Now that free kick will be taken by Paul Pook for the Mars. Now fans are exiting, and as well they know that time is not at their side. Only ball taken to Victor Chachoma. Now this will be, of course, perhaps will be the last touch there, as the referee is also contemplating. Now ball taken wide, and this will come into the end of the game. Thank you so much. And the referee has brought the game into the end. Full time here at the Juba National Stadium. It is AL-MEERIEKH FC Bantu 1. Jamus FC of Juba 3, where the 4 goals having 4 different goal scorers into their names. Now, a very interesting game, the disco.
Well, of course, a maximum of at least 5 goals scored in every game played today in the South Sudan Premier League. Qatar earlier on thumping Accordion by 6 goals to 1. And of course, Jamus picking up a well-deserved 3-1 victory right here. Would want to say thank you so very much for following up this particular live stream. Until then, do have yourself a lovely evening.